Hi guys, welcome again to another video of ours for our topic for today about conventions and legislations adopted by various countries. And these are this is the first topic that we have for the midterms. No, so apologies for not uploading the videos because I thought nobody is watching. Because last time I asked you who are those who are watching the video, and nobody or only a few raises their hands. So I thought that nobody is watching the video. So here I am now. I'm back into action and uploading some videos for you. Okay, so for the first topic that we have in the conventions and legislations adopted by various countries, our learning outcomes will be able to describe what is London Convention, describe what is intervention on the High Seas Convention, describe what is the Civil Liability Convention, describe what is the I forgot the other one, the OPRC and the OPRC NHS protocol, and as well as the OPA 90. So the first topic that we have is about London Dumping Convention. So this London Dumping Convention, it is a convention on the prevention of marine pollution by dumping of waste and other matters in 1972. I actually discussed this one already in the previous video that I made about London Dumping Convention. So its objective is to promote the effective control of all sources of marine pollution and to take all practicable steps to prevent pollution of the sea by dumping of waste and other matter. So, with regards to its difference with Annex 5, Annex 5, if you can still remember, it is MARPOL Annex 5, Prevention of Pollution by Garbage from Ships. So, this one, the Annex 5, deals with garbage from ships, while this London Dumping Convention deals with all the sources of marine pollution, especially by by human activities, pollution by human activities. So it covers all the dumping of waste at sea, no, especially by human activities. Whereas ang Marple Annex 5 natin deals with the dumping of waste, or sorry, the management of garbage, no, to prevent the 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 pollution by garbage from ships. So there is a London Protocol wherein it was agreed to further modernize, no, the convention and eventually replace it. So as we of course upgrade or industrialize, no, we have modern technologies arising, new technologies, new gadgets, new inventions, something like that. No, we have to upgrade as well the conventions that we have so that we can adapt to the new or we can meet the new standards. So we have this London Protocol that modernized the convention, and then under the protocol, all dumping is prohibited except for the possibly acceptable waste on the so-called reverse list. On the London Convention, you have also this black and gray list, but on the London Protocol, you have this reverse list. The objective of the London Protocol, as I said, is to promote effective control of all sources of marine pollution. As I said, that all human activities. And they, on the London Convention, they have this black and gray list, which can be considered for disposal at sea according to the hazard they present to the environment. When we say black list or items under the blacklist, no, they are prohibited. They are not allowed to be thrown overboard. While your gray list, no, it requires a permit, no, and of course, ban on most ocean dumping of waste produced on land. So, that's as per London Convention. No? They have this so-called black and gray list, as I said, that they are following, and these are to be followed. Where application of precautionary approach is included as a general obligation, and in the London Protocol, as it is modernized already, a reverse list approach is adopted, which implies that all dumping is prohibited unless explicitly permitted. No, incineration of waste at sea is prohibited as well. No, according to the London Convention. When we say incineration of waste, this is the method of burning your waste. No, and export of waste for the purpose of dumping or incineration at sea is prohibited. If we will go into the statistics, uh, most actually of the waste, marine pollution, 80% of which is generated on the land. So, yun talaga yung nagiging sources of pollution natin. So, we have to take necessary precautions, and we have this other conventions other than the MARPOL which will help us prevent or prevent pollution and protect the marine environment. We have the other one, which is your International Convention relating to the intervention on the high seas in cases of oil pollution casualties of 1969. The convention affirms that the right of a coastal state, when we say coastal state, if you can still remember on your Marlowe UNCLOS topic, wherein if it is a state or a country which is located, which has a shoreline, then it is called a coastal state, no? The convention affirms the right of the coastal state to take such measures on the high seas. And if we remember, high seas is a part of the sea wherein is nobody owns that, nobody is playing, or nobody has a jurisdiction on that certain area, no. So there is a question there wherein nag-arise siya, wherein what if there is a pollution on the high seas, no? The intervention on the high seas convention, this one affirms that if you're a coastal state and if you will be later on affected with this pollution that had happened on the high seas, then you have the right to protect, of course, your coast or your shoreline, no. uh, Maybe you may take measures on the high seas as may be necessary to prevent, na nakalagay dito, prevent, sorry, dito, prevent, mitigate, or eliminate the danger to its coastline or related interest from pollution by oil or the threat thereof following upon a maritime casualty. So dito yung sinasabi ko that what if there is an oil pollution happened on the high seas? So you may, as a coastal state, you may do all necessary things to prevent, mitigate, or eliminate the danger to your coastline. So that's the intervention on the high seas. The coastal state is, however, empowered to take only such action as is necessary when needed lang, and after due consultations with appropriate interests, including, in particular, the flag state or states of the ship or ships involved, the owners of the ship or cargoes in question, and where circumstances permit, independent experts appointed for this purpose. So you may take such necessary precautions only when necessary, and after due consultations as well to appropriate interest, as discussed in this slide. Coastal state, which takes measures beyond those permitted under the convention, is liable to pay compensation for any damage caused by such measures. So there is a case there wherein, for example, if the purpose why they made this clause, kumbaga, this part, is that for the settlement of disputes arising in connection with the application of the convention, because sometimes the prevention or the methods that is being done by coastal states, would further cause damage to a certain marine something, no, or marine place, no, or marine location, no. So coastal state which takes measures beyond those permitted, ang inalaw lang sa kanya, if there are damages that would be happening, no, they will be liable to pay the compensation. Next, we have the Civil Liability Convention. The Civil Liability Convention, or the CLC, was adopted to ensure that adequate compensation is available to persons who suffer oil pollution damage resulting from maritime casualties involving oil carrying ships. So what happens here is that this one makes sure that if you are a tanker or oil carrying ship, no, you will be able to pay such compensation, such liabilities, such penalties that may incur, or to perform response or do such necessary cleanups. No, kumbaga you are financially stable to pay all the damages that might incur during the pollution or the incident that had occurred. So the convention places the liability for such damage on the owner of the ship from which the polluting oil escaped or was discharged. So as a ship owner, it is your liability, no, for such damages. The convention requires ships covered by it to, number one, maintain an insurance wherein, of course, that insurance will pay for all the losses or all the, depending on the contract that you've made, and other financial security in sums equivalent to the owner's total liability for one incident. So this makes sure that you are financially stable as a company. You will be able to pay. So as you can see, the conventions that we are discussing now are actually related to the marine pollution, no, or to protection of the marine environment. For in the first one, London dumping, they are preventing the dumping of waste. The other one is intervention. No, how will the coastal states deal with the oil pollution? And this one, on the side of the ship, that you need to be able to pay for damages that might happen. But for example, merong nangyaring oil spill, no? The other one is the Oil Pollution Preparedness Response and Cooperation Convention, or the OPRC Convention. So, what is this OPRC Convention? It aims at providing a global framework for international cooperation in combating major incidents or threats of maritime pollution or marine pollution. No, uh, required to establish measures for dealing with pollution incidents either nationally or in cooperation with other countries. So who are these people, no? Ang tinatalakay dito, if you're a ship, or sorry, if you are a state, no, and you are signatory to the convention, you are required to establish measures for dealing with pollution incidents. Now, ships are required to report incidents of pollution to coastal authorities, and the convention details the actions that are then to be taken. No, the convention calls for the establishment of stockpile of oil spill combating equipment, the holding of oil spill combating exercises, and development of detailed plans for dealing with the pollution incidents. So as you can see, this convention deals with the oil prevention, no? Oil prevention response, no? Uh, when it comes to there is an oil pollution, how will a coastal state, or sorry, how will a certain state, no, respond to such emergencies, no? And that if you're a ship, you need or you are required to report, and that certain state are required to assist you, no, if you're a signatory. Parties to the convention are required to provide assistance, as I said, to others in the event of pollution or emergency, and provisions made for the reimbursement of any assistance provided. Okay, so we have also the OPRC HNS protocol, which ensures that carrying hazardous and noxious substances are covered by preparedness and response regimes. Now take note that the OPRC is oil pollution, no? So dahil nagkakaroon din ng pollution when it comes to noxious, hazardous and noxious liquid substances, so the HNS protocol was established, of course, to assist, no, and to have a certain regulation or convention that deals with the HNS. The last one that we have is the Oil Pollution Act, or the OPA 1990. I would like to encourage you to view the video that I posted on the M Rooms about the Exxon Valdez, because the Exxon Valdez was the reason, or was one of the biggest reason why we have this OPA 90. The OPA 90 is applicable in the United States, no? Because the one that made this OPA 90 is the United States Congress, no? It aimed to prevent oil spills, ensure cleanup, restore environments damaged by spills. So kumbaga, dahil nagkaroon doon, ang nangyari doon is that after the Exxon Valdez, they found out that the response method or response actions was not enough to mitigate or to stop the effects of the pollution. So naging move ng US Congress to make sure that all necessary prevention can be made, no, by this OPA 90, no. So oil storage facilities and vessels must submit to the US government their plans to responding to large spills should they happen, of course. So there are plans being submitted, DRP, to make sure that you know what to do and what will these oil storage facilities need to do. The OPA also sets up a trust fund supplied from taxes on oil to clean up spills when the party responsible is unable or unwilling to do so to themselves. No? So you give something, you give funds to the trust fund, and then supplied from the taxes on oil, that will be used for the cleanup in case of oil spill. So as I said, now the OPA 90 was introduced in response to the major oil spill by the former Exxon Corporation in 1989 on 24 March 1989. The Exxon Corporation tanker ship MT Exxon Valdez ran into the Prince William Sound's Bligh Reef and spilled an estimate of 11 to 30 million gallons of crude oil along the Alaskan coast. So, ang mga maraming naging effect ito sa marine environment as well as na-damage yung mga marine resources and then yung mga ating mga wildlife as well, no? Ang mga fishes natin naging naapektuhan, yung mga birds, no? What happens sa mga birds natin ang nag-aano siya, nag dumidikit kumbaga yung oil sa mga pakpak nila, and then that makes them hard to fly and to escape from the oil, and they would die because of not eating, because they cannot fly, or their energies will be drained. So again, for any concerns, for any comments or suggestions or any questions that you have, please do give me a private message on the M Rooms, on my Facebook page, as well as you may text me or call me on the office hours or class hours. Okay? So I hope that you're still doing good. Good luck to your exams and stay safe as always. Bye bye. See you in the next video.